Eagles. Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody. This is the Fightins Postgame Show. My name is Marc Farzetta. It's nice to have you along for the ride. This is brought to you by the wonderful people at Colony Pools and Power Watching. Phillies went into this ball game, and you know what? They were just a measly 2-4 in their 6 games previously against the New York Metropolitans. And you know what? I asked one thing. Don't play down to your opponent from here on out for the rest of the season. You just took 2 or 3 from the Braves, so don't go ahead and suck against the Mets. Don't go ahead and suck against the Pirates. Play good baseball. And the Phillies played good baseball tonight. And you know who played great baseball tonight? You know who's been playing great baseball? Nick Castellanos with another home run, his 28th of the season. And how about this? A 4 RBI night for the Fightin' Phils. And how about this? Alec Bohm, 18 home runs now for the Phillies on the season. Absolutely fantastic. He is inching his way closer to 20 home runs. I have said many times that 20 home runs ain't that big a deal anymore. There's like literally 100 guys in Major League Baseball that are going to hit 20 home runs. All right, get to the 20 home run mark on the season. Like at least 100 guys this year. Like 80 of them, no, about 100 on the nose actually, are at 100, okay? Or excuse me, are at 20 on the season. Alec Bohm has the opportunity to be one of those guys. And for him, a guy that has struggled with the long ball in his career, for being a third baseman or being a first baseman, you expect to get a little bit more pop out of that bat for somebody that's playing in the corner infield positions. To get to 20 would be a great thing for him. So 18 so far on the season. Absolutely love what I have seen from this ball club to this point, especially over their last 4 games now. Taking 2 or 3 from the Braves and then taking just game 1. Just taking game 1 against the Mets. This has been a Mets monkey that the Phillies had trouble getting off their back this season. It had been a long time since they had faced the Mets, and now they're not including this game tonight. They got 6 more games left against the Mets to round out the rest of the season with that 3-game series against the Pirates at the end of this 4-game set. Followed against the Mets. So they got the Pirates coming up after this. So I just look forward to the Phillies continuing to play some good baseball and Nick Castellanos to stay red hot. He came out in the month of August and he was swinging for the fences. 6 home runs early in the month of August. Then he cooled off a bit, and now in the middle of September, the man is finding his power stroke again. He's going to have a 30 home run season again. For what, just the second time in his career? That would be a fantastic thing to see from Nick Castellanos for this ball club. Coming in here and going through the struggles that he went through in the vast majority of last year, to finding his stroke in the playoffs, finding his glove in the playoffs last year, and then this year getting that power stroke back, making an all-star appearance, of course, and then going out and possibly matching another 30 home run season. Even if he doesn't get the 30 home runs, if he just continues to hit doubles, if he hits with runners in scoring position, and he works his way back up this batting order to a place where he can really help this ball club win some more games and drive in those runs, then the Phillies, forget about it. The wild card will only be the beginning of it. And how about this? With the win tonight, the Philadelphia Phillies are 4.5 games into that wild card spot, that top spot. 3 games over the idle Arizona Diamondbacks, who have the night off. The Cubs are in action tonight, just to look around. Cubs are in action tonight. Marlins don't have a game tonight. San Francisco Giants are playing tonight. They're in the first inning in Los Angeles, taking on the Dodgers. So that's the way that is shaping up right now. It's a scoreless game in the top of the first inning, so they just got that one underway in L.A. at Chavez Ravine. As for the Cubs, they're in the top of the 9th inning at Wrigley right now. They're down 5-4 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. So go ahead and handle your business against them before they come over here to Philadelphia. And that's the way it shakes out right now. Right now, the Braves also are winning 10-3 over the Nationals. That game doesn't mean anything for the Phillies. But yeah, just that's what it looks like right now. The Diamondbacks are off tonight. Cubs are in action, and they are trailing right now. With the Marlins being off tonight, it'll be an interesting thing that'll go down there for that third wild card spot. Right now, it's the Phillies 4.5 games in that number 1 spot. They're 3 games ahead of the Diamondbacks, who are 1.5 games up on the Cubs, and the Cubs occupy that third and final wild card spot right now, with the Marlins just a half game out of that. So if the Marlins being idle, if the Cubs end up losing this game, if they can't come back, you're looking at a 2-way tie there between the Marlins and the Cubs for the final wild card spot in the National League. So going to come down to the wire. I don't know how you guys felt at the start of this Phillies game tonight, but I'm going to tell you, right out of the gate, I just felt good. I felt good about this start. I know David Peterson was getting the start for the Mets. I know that Ranger Suarez was going to be out there. It was going to be a lefty-lefty matchup. Peterson had come into his own over his last couple of starts, had a whole bunch of strikeouts. The Phillies obviously strike out a lot. But going into tonight's game, I just had a good feeling. And when Nick Castellanos came up with that RBI single to center field, that 2-run single to center field in the first inning, I just felt they got this. From Ranger Suarez cruising through the first inning to Nick Castellanos' 2-run single in that first inning, bottom of the first inning to center field, I just felt good. They capitalized on an opportunity. Schwarber led off with a walk. Then Turner goes up. He walks. Bohm flies out in foul territory to first base. Pete Alonso got under it. Then Harper came up with the single. You got a bases loaded, 1-out situation, and JT Realmuto steps to the plate. Talk about a guy who's been struggling. Later in the ballgame, he got a hit. But in this particular instance, he did not come through. Struck out on 3 pitches. All were in the zone, so all justified, but he struck out on 3 pitches. Then Castellanos stepped up there with 2 outs in the inning. You needed to get a big hit. You needed to you needed to create some good vibes to start this game off, keep the good vibes going from that 3-game series in Atlanta. And that's exactly what Nick Castellanos did. Not just kept the good vibes going for the team, but kept the good vibes going for himself. Bang! 2-run single to center field. Then Stott steps up there and he fouls out to third, I believe it was. A 31-pitch inning for David Peterson to start off the game against the Phillies. Phillies come out of that first inning up 2-0. Then you go into the top of the second inning. Ranger Suarez has some struggles. McNeil steps up to the plate. He gets an RBI double to left field. Then next thing you know, before you blink, Beatty comes up there. He gets an RBI single. It's a tie ball game. You give the 2 runs back immediately. It's 2-2 now heading into the third. Ranger Suarez, calm and cool in that third inning. He gets Mauricio to fly out to center field. 1 pitch, made him swing at it, out. Then Alonso goes up there and he works a walk. Lindor flies out to left. Vientos goes up there and he flies out to right field. And then the Phillies in the bottom of that third inning. Oh, my goodness. Trey Turner hit the ball on the screws. This inning, I knew Peterson was cooked. Because everything that was hit, every ounce of contact that was made in this inning on Peterson's pitches, scolded. Even the pitch later in the inning where JT Realmuto stepped up and got a hit, he went with the pitch the other way at a full count, and he drove it into right field. It was still away, and he went with the pitch and got good wood on it. So Turner led off by smoking a ground out to third base and just absolutely scorched that baseball. Then Alec Bohm stepped up, got a 2-2 changeup. Inside 405 feet, belted to deep left field for the home run. Phillies go up 3-2. Bryce Harper says, guess what? We're just getting warmed up. Gets an 0-2 slider, puts that one in the outfield for a single. Then JT Realmuto goes with the pitch I was just telling you about, got a 3-2 changeup away, and he handled his business right there. A 9-pitch at bat, and he gets on base. Bryce Harper is able to take third on that. You have a first and third with 1-out situation. And Nick Castellanos comes up with a sac fly RBI. It's a 4-2 ball game. Stott, unfortunately, strikes out. Stott has not looked like himself at the plate more than what we have seen for the majority of the season from him. I wouldn't be opposed to a day off for the young man. I know everyone wants to see him in the lineup all the time. I would not be opposed to take a break. You can just take a break. Take a break. But tonight would be an example of that. The sinker that he struck out on in that third inning to end the inning was a very high sinker, and it's very rare that we ever see Bryson Stott flail at a pitch. Now, I have talked many times about how Bryson Stott will swing at that high fastball. This was even high by Bryson Stott's standard. Like he'll strike out on that high fastball. He'll make also solid contact sometimes on that high fastball. But he got a high sinker today that was at his eyes, and he just flailed at it, and you don't see that a lot from him. So it was an odd scenario there for Stott in the third inning. But bottom line, Phillies come out of that third inning. They're up 4-2. Then you go into the fourth inning. Alvarez gets the sac fly RBI to center field. It's a 4-3 ball game. You led off with a triple by McNeil. I think it was the very next pitch. Alvarez hits that ball to center field for the sac fly RBI. It's now a 1-run ball game. Phillies don't get anything going to the bottom of the fourth. Nothing really doing in that fifth inning. And then in the sixth inning, Vientos goes up there. He gets the home run to left field on a 1-2 curveball. Not a bad pitch at all. I know a lot of people just want to jump right to it. It was a curveball, so he hung it. Vientos goes up, like he golfed that. He like nine-ironed it out of the ballpark to left field. Just went down and got it. It was a good pitch, 1-2 pitch, tried to get him to swing over top of it. He was up to the challenge, and he put it out there 381 feet to left field. Again, a good pitch, but now you got a tie ball game on your hands. What are you going to do? That's the way they let it off. So they let off in the fourth inning with a triple and ended up biting him in the ass, as you would assume. It was a one-run ball game. Then they tie it up, make it 4-4. So what's going to happen after this? You got to face McNeil again. He pops out to Trey Turner at short. Alvarez strikes out on a changeup, just couldn't do anything with it. And then Beatty goes up there and it grounds out to second base to Bryson Stott. So you get out of the inning now with no further damage, and you get a 4-4 ball game. So now that it's tied again, the Phillies got to do what they've been doing for this entire game. They respond. And this time they respond with the 28th home run of the season by Nick Castellanos. Smacked a home run off the facing of the second deck, the upper deck, if you will, in left field, 454 feet. Whammy! It was awesome. It was majestic. It was beautiful. So Nick Castellanos goes up there. I don't know if the voice was still in his head or whatever, like, murder this baseball. Okay, I'm gone. He has just been on fire. Stott works a walk in that inning. Rojas gets a single. You get first and second with nobody out. Pache has a sac bunt that breaks mass hysteria breaks out on the infield. They're able to get Rojas at second, but you have a first and third with one out situation going on right there. Schwarber ends up striking out in a full count. He takes the sweep, swings over top the inside sweeper, and then they end up taking out, was it Peterson at that time? I forget who it was. Hartwig ended up coming in and gets Trey Turner to ground out to first base to end the threat there, but the Phillies took the 5-4 lead. And then Suarez in the seventh inning. I was surprised to see him go out there. He was only at 87 pitches. They let him go out there. He goes out there, he gets Castro to strike out on 3 pitches. Things are looking good. Then Nimmo goes up there, and he works a walk on 5 pitches. Mauricio grounds out on the fielder's choice. That was a weird play. I don't know what the hell John Smoltz was talking about, but I was dumbfounded because he was like, who was it on first base there? Nimmo. Nimmo pulled his arm down and broke it up. I didn't see that at all. If anything, I just saw him put his arm up because he was trying to protect himself. I thought he made the right play. I thought Stott dropped the ball. Bottom line, Stott dropped the ball. Can't drop the ball. And I'm thinking Nimmo's going to try to take second. He eventually then tried to take second while they were trying to decide what the hell was going on. And that's when Stott flipped it to Turner, who tagged him out. But I feel like the Phillies were in the wrong there. I didn't think Nimmo did anything wrong in that situation. If that's a Phillies player trying to make that type of play, then good on you. You make that type of play. So that's the way that was going down, unfortunately. And it ended up not coming back to bite the Phillies in the butt. They got Alonso to fly out to right field. Hoffman came in and was able to get out of that inning. Phillies go down in order in the bottom of the 7th inning. You go into that 8th inning. Craig Kimbrell, of course, he's got to make it interesting. He makes the 8th inning appearance, tipping your hand that Alvarado was going to come in and be the closer in this particular game. So Kimbrell goes up there and gets the leadoff single to Lindor on a knuckle curveball that he just put into center field. Vientos goes up there. Lindor steals second base because why not? It's Craig Kimbrell. He rolls out a red carpet for anyone on the base pads. He ends up getting Vientos strike out on a 96-mile-per-hour fastball. Beat him with that. McNeil gets a single. And then you have a dicey situation here. Alvarez comes up to the plate. He fouls out to Bryce Harper at first base on a one pitch inside fastball. He pops into foul territory. And then Beatty comes up there. And I think Craig Kimbrell was all in Beatty's head. He owned him. That knuckle curve, Beatty had no idea what to do with it. He swung over top of it. He was late on the knuckle curve. I don't know what he was waiting for, but he was just completely off base. Or excuse me, he was so off base. He was completely off balance in that at bat, and especially that swing. And Craig Kimbrell was able to get out of that inning. Nothing doing for the Phillies in the 8th, and in the 9th inning, Jose Alvarado slams the door shut. The only thing he allowed was that Nimmo one-out double to right center field. Yee! And then he was able to get Mauricio to fly out to center field. Nimmo tagged and went to third. And then Alonso steps up there and just couldn't handle the heat, man. Couldn't handle the heat and got him on the cutter. Low cutter, swung over top of it. Ball game. Phillies win. 4 RBI night for Nick Castellanos. A save for Jose Alvarado and a win for Ranger Suarez, which have been few and far between. Just his 3rd win of the season for Ranger Suarez. Hey, man, you give me Zach Wheeler pitching like he's pitching in his last start against the Braves. You give me Aaron Nola pitching like he was pitching in his last start against the Braves. You give me Ranger Suarez pitching like he did tonight, 4 runs. I'll take it. I'll take that. I'll take that 1-2-3 punch. You give me Christopher Sanchez whenever I need. You give me Taijuan Walker. If this is going to be a taste of things to come, then by golly, the Phillies are going to have a nice long playoff run ahead of them when the postseason rolls around in a couple of weeks. You absolutely love to see it. As far as your boy, Nick Castellanos, average looking good again, 274 overall on the season. He has just, as we all know, been mashing. Today, September, was his 70, excuse me. Today, where am I here? There I am. There's my notes. Okay. Today, he hits his 6th home run in the month of September. His season high for a single month is 8, set just last month in August. As I said, he came out in the first 2 weeks of August and was swinging a real hot bat. Now he's got that hot bat back. So it's a 6th home run, has an opportunity with 9 games left in the season. I'm really good at math. 9 games left in the season, has an opportunity to get another 8 home run month. And in the month of September, how about this? Now, recently, over his last week, he went into tonight batting .318 with a .375 on base percentage, and going into tonight also had 4 home runs in his last 7 games. So now you can up that a little bit there to 5. You love to see it from Nick Castellanos. Great signs from the Phillies slugger and the Phillies right fielder. You love what you're getting right there. Let's see what we got going on here. We need JT to hit. JT got a hit tonight. I'll take it. I want it to be a regular thing. Let's see what you guys are saying about this game tonight as we go to our chat check. Tyler Bolich, win number 84. You know what? Actually, let me look over. Oh, my goodness gracious. Holy pots and pans. Hold on a second here. The Pittsburgh Pirates have opened up a 8-4 lead with a 3-run top of the 9th inning in Chicago in the very friendly confines. Palacios goes up there with a 3-run home run, baby. He tacks on 3 more with that home run. It was a 5-4 game, now an 8-4 game. And the Chicago Cubs are trying to just get out of that one. They'll have the last bats, but they got to come up with 5 runs. They're still in the top of the 9th inning with 1 out. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. We're all feeling terrible for them. Looking around the rest of the scores, see if anything else happened since we've been yapping. Giants and Dodgers are still tied now in the middle of the 2nd inning. So that's where we sit right there as far as that goes. All right, back to the chat check. Fran McCormick, what's up, Fran? Casty going crazy. Almost won us the last 2 games alone. I'm telling you, I said after the game last night, or yesterday afternoon, I said, I want to know what Castellanos' plan was. And if you guys didn't see it after the game, it was beautiful. Nick Castellanos makes that play in foul territory right field yesterday to force extra innings where he gets the double play ball. He catches the ball. He said a voice told him at the last second to catch it and throw him out. So he did. So then they go up to Bryson Stott, and they say to Bryson Stott, hey, Nick said a voice in his head told him to make that play. And Bryson Stott starts laughing, and he goes, yeah, that sounds like Nick. Love it. Fran McCormick, also Schwarber hitting 40-plus home runs last 2 seasons after never hitting 4 home runs in his relatively long career. That is pretty remarkable. Did you see the numbers they put up there? I forget the gentleman's name. Who did the play-by-play tonight for Fox. But they made it a point of this a couple of times on the broadcast. It's weird, and I believe they described it as dubious, and I can understand why, like Crash Davis having the all-time minor league home run record, right? But Kyle Schwarber, listen to this, number 1 in runs, home runs, RBIs, and walks. He is the number 1. He is the best. He's ranked first among hitters hitting 200 or below. That's something. That's something for Kyle Schwarber. He's got 103 RBIs. Excuse me. He's got 103 runs, 45 home runs, 99 runs batted in, 122 walks. And he's got, I think, 203, 202 strikeouts, some type jazz like that. And that's number 1 among hitters with sub 200 batting average. That is bonkers, if you ask me. That is insane. 1,000% insane. Let's see what else we got here in the chat check. I'm going to go to the phone here because my computer just died. Some idiot didn't plug it in. Me. But yeah, everything's looking extraordinary. It's amazing. Trey Turner is back if Nick stays this way and possibly I will be shocked. I will be shocked if Rhys Hoskins grabs a bat and is even a designated hitter for the Phillies this year. I would be shocked. I know he's holding out hope. God love him for it. Fantastic. I just don't see it happening. But Fern, I understand what you're saying. Hoffman reminds me of Ryan Madsen. Not bad. Yeah, I can see that. Tyler Bolich, Fern, facts, yeah. Loving Hoffman, Fran McCormick, absolutely. Fern, agreeing on everything. That's great. He's exactly who I think of when I see Hoffman. Really? Jesus saves. Hey-oh. Hey, Jesus saves. Nice to see you. Or Jesus saves. I don't know. Nice to see you. That was a nervous game. I got to be honest. I felt great. I think the magic number is 6 now. I could be wrong. 5-game lead in the loss column for the playoffs with 9 games left. Smile and be happy. Oh, I am. Professor Dutch! Vibes are trending upwards at this time. October has always been my favorite month. Now, Red October makes it even better. Professor Dutch, I agree completely. Thanks for all the great content. Thanks for all the content. Love these post-game shows. Thank you, Professor Dutch. I appreciate that. Smile, be happy. Stott is like Jason Worth. He takes a ton of pitches, eating into the pitcher's endurance. Oh, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah. Sosa is ahead of Castro in the pecking order. Hell yeah. Castro, Fern, let me just say this. I don't like Randolfo. I don't know if there's ever been a less significant player that's barely been a Philly that I disliked faster than I disliked Randolfo Castro. I can't put my finger on it. I just don't like him. I just don't like him. Strike zone all over the place tonight for both teams. Yeah, the outside. I noticed tonight there were a lot of outside breaking balls in particular that were called strikes. Kyle Schwarber took exception to it because, of course, he did. It's Kyle Schwarber, for goodness sakes. So that was interesting. But a lot of breaking balls in the outside corner that maybe were a little off were called strikes. So it is what it is. John Messina, what's going on? Casey is a monster up at the plate right now. Wait, what? Oh, Casty. I think you mean Casty. Okay. The strike zone was a little bit. Smile, be happy. Strahm, Soto, Hoffman, Kimbrel, Alvarado seem to be the bullpen 6, 7, and 8, 9. I agree. Tyler Bolich, I miss Rhys Hoskins. Hey man, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I miss Rhys Hoskins too. As for the Phillies and what they got coming up tomorrow, they're going to continue this. Remember, it's a 4-game series with the New York Metropolitans, so the Phillies will get right back at it tomorrow. I think it's a 7:05 Friday night start time in South Philadelphia. See the Phillies keep that going. Why is this being weird? Stop being weird, you weirdo, with your weirdness. There we go. Here we go. Let me tell you right now about Colony Pools and Power Washing closing the pool for the season. Check out Colony Pools and Power Washing and all they have to offer. They are fantastic. Call 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250 to get rid of that ugly green algae and mold off your siding, off your roof, and off your deck. They service Delaware, Delco, and Chester counties. Give them a call. 302-762-2250. Taijuan Walker gets the start for the Phillies. Yes, it is a 7:05 start time in South Philadelphia. Is tomorrow Scott Rowland? I'm pretty sure tomorrow is Scott Rowland Day. I'm almost positive tomorrow is Scott Rowland Day. Ahead of that, I thought they always did that on a Saturday. I could be wrong. But yeah, Taijuan Walker gets the ball for the Phils tomorrow. Look forward to that, how that plays out. Let me punch that up right now and just see if Scott Rowland Day. No. Day at CBP. That is so weird. Yeah, it's not coming up for some dumb reason. That was announced in May. Phillies Wall of Fame night. Yeah, it is tomorrow. Yeah, the 22nd. Here's my memory of Scott Rowland. He was awesome. I remember doing the math when the Phillies won the World Series in 2008, and it was like, wow, he could have been your third baseman. He would have been the elder statesman, of course, of the club, but Pedro Feliz, of course, was the third baseman. He did great, whatever. But that would have been one hell of a run with Rowland at third base. Look, I was really young for Schmidt. Other than, going back and watching Schmidt, I don't have a lot of memories of Michael Jack, but I remember, obviously, Scott Rowland. And he was a member of one of my favorite teams ever in Philadelphia history that never did anything. Like, they didn't even make the playoffs, but it was just, they came down to the wire against the Braves in 2001. They went into Atlanta, the second to last series of the season. I want to say they were down a game and a half or maybe 2 games in the standings, and they just couldn't put it together, unfortunately. But I remember Scott Rowland had an incredible year. Marlon Anderson had a great year. Bobby Abreu had a phenomenal year. Robert Person was the ace of the staff. And I loved that team. Pat Burrell, I think did he come up the following year? I'm trying to remember. But that was one hell of a ride that year. And watching Scott Rowland at the Vet, he was amazing. And I've talked to a number of pitchers from that era that talked about Scott Rowland and how their ERAs would be a full run higher if it wasn't for Scott Rowland being at third base. I know that he didn't like us. We didn't really like him as an overall fan base. We thought maybe lollygagged it down the first base line a couple too many times, took too many days off before Larry Bowa came over and took care of that. You go play there, Scott Rowland. Your back bothering you? And then stretch it out a bit. Go play third. Went on to have a Hall of Fame career. Certainly on the Gold Glove side of things, no question about it. If I am at Citizens Bank Park tomorrow, I'm cheering Scott Rowland. I know that some fans might not cheer Scott Rowland. If I'm at CBP tomorrow, I'm cheering Scott Rowland. That's the way I see it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you guys. Alex Schmidt produced the program, did a wonderful job as per usual. Did I give you the tomorrow's starting pitching? No, because I don't know how buttons work, unfortunately. But yeah, Taijuan Walker gets the start for the Phillies. Look forward to that. And he'll try to get after it when it comes to everything else that he's done so far this season in terms of getting after it and helping this Phillies ball club win 15 games. Think about that for a second. That's your matchup for tomorrow. Taijuan Walker going for win number 16 on the season. He's 15-5 with a 4.40 ERA. He'll go against another righty in Tyler McGill, who is another righty, 6'7", big boy, going out there on the mound tomorrow. And he brings with him, he's coming off a start. 3 runs, 2 of them earned against Cincinnati Reds in 5 2/3. That's what he brings to the table for tomorrow. Look forward to another Phillies win tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Alex Schmidt produced the show. My name is Marc Farzetta. This is the Fightins Postgame Show brought to you by Colony Pools and Power Washing. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. Talk to you guys tomorrow morning on the Farzy Show live at 6 a.m. We're going to break down tonight's game, the Giants and San Francisco 49ers, and we'll also get you guys ready for Monday Night Football with the Eagles handling the business against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Talk to you guys tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. See ya.
If you own a company and you're not producing a podcast, you're missing out. The public consumes messaging when they're ready. Join the professional podcast network of companies and let JAKIB Media Partners put you in the podcast arena. Come to our professional studio or we'll come to your place of business and professionally produce your company podcast. Call JAKIB Media right now at 267-261-3428. 267-261-3428.
Heading down the shore, have a ball once more. Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wild wood days.
Up with this anymore.
Score and save in southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, Birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com. EAGLES, Eagles.